Am I the asshole for being disgusted and just saying, okay, well, my fiance broke up with me? So, I don't know, man. I, 28, have been with my fiance, Alex, 34, since 2020. We met at a friend's party, hit it off, and have been together ever since. He finished his doctorate in economics just last year. Since then, he has been working at the uni. I have my master's in media science and decided to start working instead of going for a PhD. Okay, so the problem is that Alex broke up with me last Monday. It was literally so surreal and honestly just weird. For the past few months, he'd been acting strange. He was making demands and then dropping them immediately. A few examples. He told me we were going to paint our walls back from dark green to white. When I asked why, he just said, for fuck's sake, forget it, and never brought it up again, even when I asked. Another time, he came home and got mad at me because I was sitting on the couch with my head covered in a blanket. I had cramps. He was upset because I was just sitting there watching Netflix. Mind you, the house was spotless. When I tried to talk about it, he said, forget it, it's not a big deal. This kind of thing became common. Every time I tried to communicate, try to figure out what was going on, whether it was something I did or maybe he was just stressed at work, he would just say everything was fine, but he was clearly seething with rage. I didn't even have to do anything. He would find something to complain about: the apartment, clothes, me, work, etc. So I gave him space, which apparently was also wrong. I told him I was going to help my parents with repairs for a few days, and somehow that was also wrong because he wanted to renovate the apartment too. Then on Monday, I got a text saying we needed to talk. I knew what was coming. And after the last few months, I had made peace with it. When I came home, he was sitting on the couch, didn't even wait for me to take my jacket off before saying, I want to break up. Then the verbal diarrhea started. He told me he resented me, first because I didn't pursue my academic career further, even though I was capable, and he didn't want to upset me at the time. Then, when I started making more money, since he didn't make much as a PhD student, he felt like I should have the last word financially, and he hated it. Mind you, I never said anything like, it's my money, so I have the final say. That's a rule he imposed on himself, and he hated it. He said he hated our paint scheme, the couch, and even our fucking crock pot. Then he told me he had rejected a better PhD program to stay here because I had already started my job by the time he got the acceptance letters. Only he never told me he had even applied overseas. He said a few months ago he checked in with a friend who's in that program, saw how they were thriving, and decided I ruined his life. This dude is ridiculous. He said I had too much control over his life and that he hated the idea that I could just decide not to pay for things and fuck him over. I honestly don't even know what that means. He also said he hated that all his friends loved me and didn't let him vent about me. Then he said again, I'm done. I was floored. I had already made peace with the idea that we were ending it and it hurt, but after that rant, I was just disgusted. I looked at him, probably with a disgusted expression, and said, okay. I just asked if he wanted to stay there while he figured out where to go, and he said, typical. Of course you're holding the apartment over me, and started ranting again, so I left. I told my parents, and they're also confused. My dad suggested I reached out to our landlord and explained the situation to see what options I have. I can keep paying the rent, no problem, by myself. He covered the utilities and some subscriptions. Just to reiterate, I never had a problem with this. I saw that he was chasing his dream, and that was more important to me than a 50-50 financial split. I make good money, and I'm happy at my job. I never saw it as, quote, slaving away. I always had the mentality that my money was our money because we were building a life together. Of course, I had my own savings and fund money, but I honestly never cared. As long as I felt he was working towards something and wasn't taking advantage of me, I was fine with it. More than fine. Alex is still mad. He's going between texting me like a robot about the logistics of the split to being a seething asshole complaining about everything. I'm not even hurt anymore. I just feel nauseated by him at this point. And I don't know, should I have reacted differently? I think you reacted just fine. Obviously, at this point, I think everybody will agree that you're not the asshole. This is a classic case of somebody that's entitled, and that entitlement has led to him resenting you. All the choices that he made himself. And then he didn't even talk to you about them. So what did you expect? How can I know what's going on in your mind and help you with what you're dealing with if you don't talk to me about it? He shut himself down, let all that bullshit build up inside of him, didn't take any accountability, and that eventually boiled over. And then that's where the verbal diarrhea came from, which if you listen to this, you already know. So, OP is definitely not the asshole. Thank God you didn't have any kids with this dude, and you can split and all of this will be behind you. You can go on and do better things in your life, and good luck or good riddance to him.